guys, today I'll be reading Chapter 5 of Colours of Obsession by Bubbly Ship. I'm going to get right into it today. He's going to die. Izuku is so certain he's going to die. It's happening. Izuku did something so fucking stupid, and karma has come to dig its filthy talons into him once more. Izuku thought he was rigging the game, but how the hell was he supposed to know there was no game to begin with, when this guy made it seem so abundantly clear there was one? Izuku had to strain his eyes to see through the still blurry, almost twisting vision that the pepper spray had given him. Rolling out of the doors seemed counterproductive when he was still tied up and the car was going well past speed limits. And attacking Eraserhead while he was driving also wasn't ideal for those very same reasons. Even if he did manage to somehow get a decent hit on the man, and somehow did manage to survive the caused car accident with minor injuries, then what? He's still tied up. Fuck knows where, by a man who's eluded law enforcement for years, who knows he's quirkless and likes it. He's going to die tonight. That's a guarantee. When Eraserhead pulls into a parking garage, Izuku can only watch in eject terror as the man drives into a mildly illuminated parking spot, one in the very back, cast with shadows where none would dare to traverse on the best of days. After he pulls in, the man takes a moment to glance over at Izuku, his expression looking all gooey and sweet. You didn't have to stay up. I told you it was going to be a long drive, Eraserhead says. Izuku shoots him a glare, one that only drags a hearty laugh out of the man. He reaches over and ruffles Izuku's hair, letting his hand snap back when Izuku makes a bite attempt at his fingers. He's read somewhere online that people can bite through fingers like carrots. Now would be a great time to test that out. Eraserhead only laughs at the moment and continues to ruffle Izuku's hair. If he didn't have the mobility of a goldfish, he would have kicked his face in. After a few minutes of Eraserhead trying to pluck Izuku from his car seat, and Izuku doing everything within his power to kick and bite at him, Eraserhead eventually manages to secure Izuku into his arms and tosses him over his shoulders like a pleasant little sack to carry away to his villain dungeon full of torture devices and whatever else villains have. Izuku tries to lift his head to trail the way out, but after a minute his neck strains and he's forced to let his face rest against Eraserhead's back. No longer than 3 minutes pass before Eraserhead tugs open a door, closing it behind him with a soft click that sends a shiver down Izuku's back. Here it comes. Here comes one of the worst possible deaths in the world. He's going to be tied up while his perverted freak obsessed with quirkless boys... What? Oh, while this perverted freak obsessed with quirkless boys did whatever he wanted to him. Then he's going to be killed, and Izuku startles when Eraserhead leans down and his shoes thud to the floor, organized neatly beside Eraserhead's now removed shoes. A soft wooden entryway makes way for carpeted flooring as he begins to walk into the room he's taken Izuku to. After a few moments of walking, he leans over and plops Izuku down onto a nice, soft couch. Izuku can only blink in shock, staring up at Eraserhead, who was hovering over Izuku, brushing aside his bangs to look at his likely bloodshot eyes. I'll need to go grab a rag to get any of that pepper spray out of your eyes. Thankfully, it seems your system flushed out most of it by now, but some might still be stuck in your eyelashes. Eraserhead hums out. His fingers seem to linger on Izuku's freckles, tracing the spotted skin before he withdraws. Does it hurt at all? Izuku can only stare blankly at the man before shaking his head after Eraserhead stares expectantly for an answer. Stay here. Izuku watches as Eraserhead pulls away and makes his way towards the kitchen. For a moment, all he can do is stare, so thoroughly shocked that his brain is still blue-screened processing such a lot of information. Izuku isn't in some sort of secret dungeon or creepy bedroom. He's sitting in a relatively normal-looking living room, 3 walls and an entryway to the kitchen, where Eraserhead was holding a rag under the kitchen sink and beginning to crank the faucet on. The joined rooms were spacious and well organized, with little knickknacks and general things that scattered about that showed people actively lived here. A fleece blanket neatly folded on the back of the couch, cute little jars with different spices like sugar and flour lined up on the kitchen counter, with one slightly ajar, a battery pack next to the TV remote on the coffee table, those sorts of things. It's so homey, he can't do anything but stare until Eraserhead suddenly comes back, a wet washcloth in his hand, as he tilts Izuku's head up. Close your eyes and let me know if I hurt you at all. Izuku opens his mouth to object, but Halfson closes his eyes after a second, so caught off guard that he's not sure what to say just yet. His mind short-circuits enough to do what the man who kidnapped him says, lest he raise his wrath. Izuku flinches as the warm cloth brushes against his eyes. He gently steadies his hand as he wipes at Izuku's face as softly as he can. Can I ask what exactly is going on? Izuku finally breaches, blinking a few times as the razor head finishes. He folds up the washcloth to a clean side and hastily wipes his own eyes, despite the fact that he took much more of a faceful than Izuku did and was able to recover after a minute, which Izuku detests with a burning passion. His only defense slowed down his opponent for a minute. Well, right now, I want to make sure you didn't hurt your eyes, Eraserhead explains. He cups Izuku's face again, humming and content at his own work. Then, once my husband gets home, we'll have dinner. I want to make sure you've eaten. Izuku nearly lets his mouth drop open from shock. Husband? Huh? Izuku asks. Hisashi, though I think he'd prefer you call him Pa, or Papa. He thinks it's cute. Huh? Eraserhead blinks, having the girl to look caught off guard by Izuku's reaction. Izuku kicks up a leg, but he grabs it without wincing, as if Izuku wasn't able to throw a good kick, which he knows is horseshit, because Izuku may be small, but he's worked his legs through hell and back outrunning cops. We've been meaning to adopt for a while now, so we decided to adopt you after I meet you, Eraserhead says, as if that's a simple fact to the logic of the universe and the laws it abided by. I'm fine with Dad, but Hisashi always wanted to be called Papa. Now's the time for him to spontaneously combust. Please and thank you. Izuku snorts. Yeah, haha, very funny. You expect me just to accept the fact that some creepy guy who kidnapped me after killing 39 people to meet me is looking to expand his family? Eraserhead taps Izuku's nose, as if he were a cute little puppy that did a neat little trick. Yes. And then there's that damned look again. His pupils trained onto Izuku as if everything else could melt away and he wouldn't give a single damn about it. Those eyes that picked him apart as if something to behold and never forget. It draws a shiver out of Izuku as he instinctively shifts against his bindings and feels his arms strain from his inability to move. Midori is a cute name, matches your hair, but I prefer my son to have my name. Aizawa Izuku sounds good. Razorhead continues, like there's no room to argue the shift in appearance in Izuku's life as he reaches over to brush aside a few strands of hair from Izuku's cheeks that no doubt would fall back into place the moment his hand retracted. Sorry that everything isn't quite set up yet at home. We have your bed and some paint, though we'll get you some snacks as well. And a way out, Izuku grunts in reply, and a jetpack out of here. You in jail and 1 billion yen. If you'd like, for your birthday, I can do some of those. Ozzy pauses, then smiles over at Izuku. When's your birthday? Izuku thinks he's actually lost it. What the hell is happening? Seeing that his newly, forcibly, adopted son wasn't necessarily taking on the shift well, the man sighs and moves to sit down next to Izuku. Izuku stares the whole time, a glare heavy in his eyes as he follows the kidnapper. I'm Aizawa Shota. You can call me Shota until you're comfortable calling me Dad. I understand this may be a bit of an unorthodox situation, Izuku snorts, but I'm being honest in my care for you. I've chosen to take you in, and I plan to raise you as my own. Izuku glares at him. And in a few days, when I'm taken to the police station, I won't be pointing at a doll to tell them where the strange, creepy man touched me. Aizawa withdraws slightly, looking a bit insulted. Izuku, I'm twice your age, and I'm happily married. I wouldn't do anything like that. It's such an earnest reply that Izuku can't find it within himself to quip back at him. He bites his lower lip. He's unable to chew his nails at the moment and bites at it as Aizawa sighs and moves to stand. Sorry, Izuku says before he can stop himself, because apologizing to his kidnapper is a great idea, and he's stupid as fuck apparently. The man, still scarfless, and looking a bit weird like that, reaches over and pats Izuku's hair. He really seems to like his curls. Izuku notices. lingering on rolling Izuku's green curls between his fingers. It's fine, I understand. Logically, that the transition won't be easy for you. I'm fine taking some time to help you adjust. He pats Izuku's head once more before completely withdrawing. I'm sorry if I gave off the impression something like that might happen. Before Izuku can reply, there's a click at the door in the hallway, Before Izuku can reply, there's a click in the door down the hallway before the door practically bursts in. Izuku can't see since it's around a corner, but there's a loud, energetic voice that picks up as plastic crinkles. Show! I got the bentos. They had a really cute selection. Did you grab the kid? Footsteps dragged on towards the living room, and Izuku was trying to keep himself intact with his few remaining bits of sanity as the strange voice got closer. There's a sharp gasp as the man rounds the corner, and Izuku gets an eyeful of the mysterious Eraserhead's husband. As the man gasps, covering his mouth, Izuku can only jolt with recognition. Prison Mike, another S-class villain, one of the more mainstream villains with his destructive quirk that leveled buildings and heroes alike. He was one of the more informative villains, though, from what Izuku's gathered from his televised fights, the man was usually more often caught at villain meetings than random attacks on the street. But when those meetings were interrupted, though, the area around him felt it. Plenty of people hospitalized after his fights suffered permanent ear damage. Plenty of heroes who fought him were sent into early retirement due to being made deaf in mere seconds. And Izuku was now not only trapped with the creepy staring Eraserhead who kept patting his head, he was now trapped in a room with Prison Mike on top of it. They were fucking married too? Not only has Izuku somehow garnered the attention of Eraserhead through who knows what means, but he's also now got Prison Mike in the flesh as well. Great. Prison Mike gives out a soft squeal as he practically tosses the bag of food dangling from his arms onto the counter beside him and rushes forward towards Izuku, who's already thinking of all the fun things that can be written on his gravestone after his body is found. Izuku immediately startles, moving to try and scoot away, but his feet catch on the rug underneath the coffee table and he barely moves an inch. Instead of roaring until Izuku's eardrums bleed, Prison Mike practically rushes into the living room and moves to crouch down in front of Izuku, beaming bright and white at the kidnapped teenager in his home. Hey, little listener, I'm Prison Mike, or Hisashi. I'm going to be your new dad, but you can just call me Papa. He reaches forward and pinches Izuku's freckled cheek, practically gleaming up at the boy. You're just so precious. God, Sho, you mentioned he was cute, but I didn't realize he was just the cutest. Izuku, who was trying very hard not to have a stroke, could only watch like a dead fish as Aizawa grunted in agreement. He opens his mouth trying to say anything to make sense of the situation, but lets his mouth close with a soft click of his teeth clinking together. They're crazy, both of them. That's the only logical response his twisted and tired mind could muster up. They just completely glazed over the fact that he's quirkless, something he's never seen before. Maybe they've lost a kid or something that looked like him and snatched him because he was a good replacement. Do you like sweets? Oh, how about mochi? Shota likes sour things, but I'm a big fan of ice cream mochi. Have you had the strawberry flavor? I picked up a few of the flavors because I wasn't sure what you liked. Prison Mike continued to blabber on as if he hadn't lost Izuku ages ago. Don't spoil his appetite before dinner, Shota butts in, looking so content with himself as he watches the two interact. At 2 a.m., Sho, Hisashi replies, a teasing and eager smile on his face as he turns to look at his husband. I highly doubt desserts would throw him off any more. It's okay, little listener. You can have your mochi if you want. I made sure to grab them for you, after all. If you don't like them, don't worry. We can always go out and get something else next time. We serve a lot of Jello cups here. It's one of the few things Shota can enjoy that has sugar in it. Do you like Jello? I like weird strangers not kidnapping me, Izuku replies. Hisashi grins. That's no issue. We'll get to know you, and then you won't have to worry about strangers kidnapping you, because then it'll be your new dad's kidnapping you. He moves to stand, placing his hands on his hips as he smiles down at Izuku. Also, is all solved then, right, kiddo? Well, Izuku supposes. Prison Mike does have him there. It's such a bizarre response that it temporarily sucks all the fear out of him, like some sort of numbing agent through vocal application. He doesn't even struggle when the man helps Izuku onto his feet without so much as a sweat and leads him to the kitchen table where Aizawa was unpacking the grocery bags from the convenience store run. The food most definitely was on the higher end than the emergency food Izuku usually bought, with sturdier containers with more food. Izuku sits at the table while Aizawa unloads the food. Hisashi helps set it out before Izuku and asks which one he would prefer. It's so oddly domestic that Izuku thinks he's dreaming. He has to be. If his hands were free, he would pinch himself and run. Very much run. How about the shrimpura one? President Mike asks, holding out the pink-coloured bento box with several cutesy anime characters on the side as marketing decoration. Izuku blinks. Maybe he got high from the spray paint cans. That would explain this all. Or maybe he's actually dead in a ditch somewhere else. Nope, somewhere, after giving a razor-head sass and pepper spraying him. And this is his mind trying to give him happy family memories before he dies. Yes. That's clearly it. What's the name, kiddo? We have to get him a nameplate. I just realized. Help him decorate his new room. President Mike comes, turning to look at Eraserhead, who is opening his own bento box now. Izuku. I was thinking he could take Aizawa for a surname. Eraserhead picks up his chopsticks while Hisashi opts for a fork. Oh, sweetie, that's such a lovely name. Hisashi reaches over to cup Izuku's cheek like he's a precious little thing to hold. I love Izuku for your name. I think Izuku Aizawa rolls off the tongue. So slick and forward, you dig? He then leans back, poking a second fork into the bento box before Izuku and lifting a cucumber slice. Say, kiddo. Yep, definitely dreaming. Izuku hasn't been tucked in since he was 4 years old. 4 years old, a tiny little boy who thought stars were just tiny balls of light 20 yards up and didn't even realize Santa wasn't real just yet. The moment Quirkless was on the table, being tucked in was off the table, no sweet kisses from his parents, no lingering smiles or looks back as they flickered off the lights. Izuku is 15 years old and very much rather independent. Izuku hasn't had a hug from his mother in years. He's used to falling asleep at odd times with the stench of paint on his clothes and creak of his back. The sort of conditions only suited for Izuku, the boy who scurries through the alleyways. What he's instead led to on this particular crazy night where death was apparently not imminent was a decently sized bedroom with sealed windows and a big fluffy bed in the middle of it. The room is rather bland, with several stacks of boxes in the corner besides an ajar door to a personal bathroom. Oh my gosh. When Izuku is led to the room, still tied up like a little quirkless burrito situation, he can spot a cat folded into a cat loaf on the corner of the bed, feet tucked underneath its chest, head practically face-planted against the sheets. Izuku is still waiting for the torture dungeon to pop out of nowhere. Is this seriously it? They expect him just to sit down and believe they decided to randomly adopt this kid they've met a few times on the street? President Mike, an S-class villain who insisted Izuku call him Pa, led him into the room, looking mildly embarrassed by the state of it. The room was clearly only in the beginning stages of being decorated for a person instead of being a guest. With basic furniture and empty, unpainted walls, when Izuku manages to crane his neck, he can see several bottles of high-brand spray paint that he never even dreamed of purchasing piled inside the boxes. All organized by color. Green, red, white. Those are his main colors. They have his main color palette. Sorry we don't have any clothes for you to change into just yet. Sure was hoping to snag your size the more he got to know you. We didn't anticipate you being home this quickly, little listener, Hisashi says, squeezing Izuku's shoulder in a move that was meant to be reassuring. We also didn't know what to decorate your room with just yet. But it's even better that you're here because... What? It's even better that you're here because we can do it together. Through the distant fog of Izuku's brain doing cartwheels from the shock of the whole situation, he's able to let the gears click into place long enough to piece together what that statement meant. It's enough to make his hands firmly pressed onto his sides go cold from sweat. That's why Eraserhead killed all those people. He wanted to keep constant contact with Izuku to decorate a goddamn bedroom. People died because Eraserhead wanted to know what fucking wallpaper Izuku would want. Eraserhead's plan was just to follow him around to get information for a room and then snatch him up once he's deemed it suitable enough for the kid. Izuku did stomp on his plans, but in a way that was probably just as pleasant to the guy. They're crazy. Both of them. Absolutely bonkers. Not now, Snickers, Aizawa berates as the cat meows, still perched on the side of the bed. He plucks the cat from the bedding, letting it bundle up inside his arms as Hisashi helps Izuku sit down on the bed. Now, we have gotten the essentials, though, so no skipping out on brushing or flossing. Hisashi continues, pointing a finger at Izuku. I mean it. I even got some mouthwash. Dental hygiene is very important, and we got you lavender shampoo and conditioner. We weren't sure if you'd like that smell, but it's made for curly hair, so we decided we should get it for you. Eraserhead, the world-class terrifying villain of the shadows that his friend always hyped up as a beacon of death, cuddled a checker-patterned cat against his chest as he watched his husband tell a random child he snagged off the street about the importance of washing his hair. The man even nodded along, as if this was a perfectly logical and normal situation for anyone to be inside of. Izuku isn't sure if he wants to vomit or pass out. He's never been so stunned to be silent in this... What? He's never been so stunned to be silent this long. His sarcastic defensiveness is all but down the drain, because he's not sure how the hell to even respond to such a scenario, crafted from hell just to torment him. The world was really upping its game, huh? Now, little listener, we're going to untie you, but that's because the windows are bulletproof and the door can lock from the outside, and we don't want to keep you tied up. We promise, cross our heart and all that jazz, but we can't keep you untied until we're sure you won't run. And I don't want to give my new kiddo rope burn from being tied up all night long. Hisashi leans forward, booping Izuku's nose. All right, you promise not to run or fight? Izuku wrinkles his nose, trying to muster up a way to figure out what the fuck was even going on. He's still not sure if he's having a hallucination or not by how utterly crazy this whole thing was. You can't really expect me to willingly play along to all this shit, yeah? Izuku asks, feeling an eyebrow arch, and god damn it. He's been managing himself so well thus far, and now his attitude is cementing his fate as a John Doe in an unmarked grave 2 miles from here. I mean, you kill a bunch of people, and then after you tie me up and kidnap me, you expect me to play house? Not even his own mother wants him to play house. And they really earnestly expect Izuku to do so with them? It's bullshit. Instead of them lashing out like Izuku expected, Hisashi leans forward and cups Izuku's head with his hands, all gentle and soft with his movements. Izuku, Hisashi whispers, his green eyes warm and bright as he smiles down at the victim in his hands. We won't force you to feel comfortable with the situation. I get it. You're in a new place with new scary people. It's going to be a lot, little listener, and we won't blame you if you don't adjust right away. We aren't going to hurt you. We just want you to feel as comfortable and as welcome as you can here. Let us know if there's anything we can do to help ease you in. Let me go, Izuku offers bluntly. Hisashi giggles as if it's a funny little joke and pinches Izuku's cheek again. You're just so cute, he hums, glancing over at Aizawa. You picked the cutest of them all, I swear. He's so precious. I love him already. Eraserhead nods in agreement. He looks so content at the moment, as if everything was perfect and dandy, and as if Izuku wasn't currently tied up in a stranger's guest bedroom that he's being told is now his. I guess we'll have to let you out tomorrow then, if you're still feeling antsy, Hisashi hums, moving forward to tug away some of the bedding, which you don't particularly like. Brushing your teeth is an essential part of one's schedule. I expect to see you brushing extra long tomorrow, kiddo. We can just help him brush his teeth, Oracid points out, and invade his privacy. Sure, he's a teenager. We can't helicopter parent him to that extent. I don't want our boy to feel suffocated. That's why I only wanted cameras in the hallway. Razorhead huffs. So if he got injured in here, we'd never know? I still don't like it. Well, shush. I don't want our boy to feel peeped on. Either he can brush them tomorrow morning before I don't want him to feel peeped on, either. He can brush them tomorrow morning before a shower. Izuku grimaces at those words and tries not to fidget too much, feeling the All Might keychain looped around his pants belt clattered with the movement. So there were cameras in the hallway. That's good to know. Hisashi, seeming satisfied that the conversation was now over, ushers Izuku to lie down as he clears a spot under the blankets to fit one 15-year-old boy. The man, still very much a villain with a quirk that could destroy his eardrums in seconds if he so wished, tucks Izuku in, fretting over the blankets and pillows to make him comfortable. Izuku strains against the scarf that he's starting to suspect is made from pure diamond or something else, since he can barely move inside the material at all. Sho, Hisashi says in all serious, looking over at his husband again. I've been a father for a few hours now, and I absolutely adore it. Good. Eraserhead grunts, and Izuku has to bite back a reply that would probably cause him to be gagged or shot in the back of the head. A hand reaches out, and soon enough he's petting through Izuku's scrolls one more time before he pulls away. Good night, Izuku. An extra. Izuku, I hate people who want to hunt down mysterious people, so here I go. I'm quirkless. Now you hate me. Aizawa. Heart emoticon. Izuku, so you're a pervert then? I hate that too. No, heart emoticon. Izuku, system shutting down. That was Colors of Obsession chapter 5? Yes, chapter 5. I really like this chapter. Halfway through, my dog decided to come in here, so if you heard anything, it was probably her. Once again, I like that Izuku isn't just, like, chill with this. And not in the sense that he's, like, annoyed and doesn't want this, because that was obviously going to happen. But I mean in the sense that he's not, like... He almost feels... I almost want to say he feels guilty. Actually, he definitely feels guilty. That those people were killed for him. Yeah. I'm recording this pretty late, like, not late at night. It's currently Saturday, and I'm planning on getting this out by Wednesday, I think I said. So, yeah. As always, sorry, I can't just cut to the end, can I? I mean, I don't take notes or anything. We've met Hisashi, which I'm happy about. I love Hisashi in these fics. He always just gives me, like, over-dramatic dad vibes. Which, lovely. Love that. Why wouldn't I? There's a lot of swearing in this chapter. I wasn't prepared for that. I don't know if there's a lot of swearing in the other chapters. I haven't recorded in a few weeks. Like, for this fic specifically. But, I mean, regardless, it's still really good. I don't know if I mentioned this in one of my other videos. I really like when people comment under my videos. It makes me so happy. Like, I almost look crazy. Yes? You alright? Okay. I swear my sister judges me so much. So, like, if you wanted to, you could comment under this work. It would make my, like, day significantly better, I can assure you. But as always, Remember to eat, drink, sleep, and have a good rest of your day, night, or afternoon. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!